All right. Camera didn't want to cooperate this morning. I'm kind of fighting the weather here. It's supposed to already be raining and it's not, so very grateful for that. I think yesterday's message is really important. We're all fighting getting pulled out of alignment constantly. There are so many distractions right now, and I really think they're just going to intensify, and so it's going to be a challenge if you're in alignment. And what does that even mean? To continue to have the alignment and maintain your sovereignty. And how I felt sovereign 2 years ago is not how I feel sovereign now. And that's okay, because I've had expansive growth in that time. I think the more we can work on ourselves, work on our own programming, continue to ask, why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? Is this a should statement? Should I do something? That's programming. Okay. Even with my kids yesterday, I said should to somebody, and it gave me pause. I was like, oh wait, that's a programming word. What am I trying to achieve here? I don't remember the exact instance, but I know that happened, and I took that time to kind of reflect on it. Like, why am I using that word? Why do I feel like it's something they should do, etc. And I think when those moments pop up, the best thing we can do for ourselves, our families, our world, is to ask ourselves those questions. The person who's continually asking themselves questions, why they think, why they feel, why they believe what they believe, they're going to be in a dramatically different place than somebody who's never done that, who's just going along with whatever they've been taught or programmed to believe. And we really start to make an impact on those around us when they see us doing that. And it's sometimes just the smallest little tidbit in a conversation. Like, yeah, I hate having to ask myself those kind of questions. And I'll be like, wait, you actually do that? And sometimes that's just all it is. A lot of times we think planting seeds is, posting memes online and stuff like memes. My kids always say I say it wrong. Online and, sharing websites and information. And, hey, maybe that works sometimes. But I think the biggest impact is when we're sharing our own personal selves, our story, and we say how something has impacted us. And I know for me, the most growth I've ever had is when I'm asking myself those questions, when I'm digging deep into why I think, believe, or whatever. And sometimes it's not even digging deep. Sometimes it's just, why do I automatically do that? Have I just been programmed to do that and that's why I'm doing that? Or is there something more here? And so sometimes it's just a surface level I need to scratch at and think about. And sometimes it is a big deep dive. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't want to get into this. I think the more we hold counsel with ourselves, you know, we're taught by the world to look externally, that you can't find truth, salvation, peace within. It has to come from some external thing. You have to have love from your family and the people around you. You can't find God from here. You have to find God out here at a church or mosque or whatever, temple. You have to be guided. You can't listen to your own inner self. And that's another form of programming, because every truth, love, everything is in here. It's part of our being. And you could say, well, that's just what you believe, Katie. Okay. But when you're in a church and something resonates, you feel it in your heart. It validates it. So you're validating whatever is happening externally. And if it doesn't resonate with you, like, maybe this isn't the place for me. Maybe this isn't the church for me. I need to find something else. You still are being guided by your heart, even when you're looking externally. So why not go with it? I don't think that means that we can't help each other. I think the best teachers, and one of the reasons I like Lori Ladd, is because she doesn't consider herself just a teacher. She's a student too, and she shares her struggles just as much as her wisdom. And I don't like the idea of a hierarchy or guru. I don't need to go to somebody external from me. The whole point of my videos and doing this is to uplift each other and say, hey, I've been here, I've done this, this is where I'm at now, maybe this will help you. Maybe it won't. You know, I think there's a couple people watching my videos every day. That's okay. They must be getting something from it, and I love you. Because I'm glad. That's the whole point. I want to be helping and encouraging somebody else. And if anything, for me, this is documenting my work, my growth, my expansion. And I know the more I looked externally for answers, the more and more I was discouraged and befuddled and just like, what the heck? And then you learn some of the outside drama and noise of the world, and some of the history, and you're like, ugh, there's a lot of manipulation there, there's a lot of fear. I don't know. And I think it's all just keeps pushing you back home, back into you. Because you're connected to your higher self. You're connected to your guides. They want you to succeed on whatever you are doing here, whatever your path is. And the world teaches us to ignore this. It teaches us to listen to ego. And ego has its place. Ego is trying to keep you safe. But ego is programmed by the world. And it's sitting at that table and letting those emotions pop up when they pop up. And giving everybody their speak time. And not shaming or making anything wrong. But also including this. And I find when this speaks, I'm so much more in alignment I think the more we work on ourselves, the more we are changing the world. I think of who I was when I got married, and that was 20 years ago in August. And we're such radically different people now. Radically. And a lot of that has happened in the last probably 5-10 years, but probably 5 really heavy. And I think in some ways it'd be sad to have just stayed and maintained that person I was in my 20s. She was a great person, but she was really lost. She was always looking externally for love, for, justification, for, am I doing this right? And I don't do that anymore. And it doesn't mean if you're still doing that you're wrong or anything. It just means I'm in a different place. But I'd encourage you, if you feel like you're being pulled constantly out of alignment, to keep coming back to those questions and why you believe what you believe, and think about if you're looking externally for the answers, or are you looking here in your heart, in your aligned center, from a sovereign viewpoint, or are you letting outside things influence you? I'm gonna go. The whole fam's home today and got things to do, but I feel like I'm kind of been harping on the same thing this week, but I also think it's just so important, and so many people are getting sucked in or sucked out of themselves, I guess would be the better way to look at it. And I hate seeing that. I hate people getting sucked into fear and repetitive programming, and yet I just have love, compassion, and kindness, and can only offer, my thoughts. So those are my thoughts today. I hope you have a great Friday and a good weekend. If I don't get to talk to you guys again, hopefully I do, but no promises. You know how it is on the weekends with the fam. See you soon, guys.